O Allah, the personification of unfathomable mercy and compassion, I implore you to carefully heed my pleas and grant answers to my supplications. It is also important to note that the person skillfully combined a number of elements known for their capacity to heighten our perception of thirst and inspire us to exercise in order to obtain water. The qualities of loving kindness and forgiveness are at the center of Allah's worship. Thankfully, the combination of sodium chloride, allium sativum, and allium cepa on our gustatory receptors causes a feeling of dryness in our oral cavity, which increases our desire to drink fluids. In Allah's omnipresent divine presence, this petition is formed. I respectfully present the following request to the all-powerful and all-knowing deity. Due to my teacher's response's constant consistency, I am very grateful to her. The teacher said that because it is beyond their capacity, they are unable to provide any sacred water resources. After my midday meal, I need to drink some water, the student says. In the context of religious devotion, I humbly request your attention to the following statement. The expectation is that Allah's generosity and compassion will aid in bringing about the fulfillment of the aforementioned aspiration in later eras. We implore Allah, the all-powerful deity, to forbid any favorable weather conditions, such as rain or snowfall, from benefiting this person's endeavors. The user invokes Allah in accordance with religious custom. It is obvious that both individuals lost consciousness after the aforementioned incident. It is essential to hold fast to the conviction that the pursuit of the sacred and transcendent will, in the end, lead to the achievement of true spiritual illumination. We humbly implore Allah, the all-forgiving, to shower His divine blessings upon those who have left our midst and are entering the sacred space of the classroom, where they seek to learn in accordance with His divine will. It is reasonable for people to experience divine favor when they set out to improve themselves. Please share with them the wisdom and peace that come from accepting your teachings. When seeking clarification for their questions, those who are curious seek advice on how to properly address the most merciful Allah, much like they would an esteemed professor. I ask for help from others and invoke the name of Allah in my quest for understanding and knowledge. I'm hoping to make my points in a way that inspires a lot of respect and admiration. I humbly ask the Divine Presence to shower my life with an abundance of blessings, prosperity, and unwavering assistance by invoking the name of Allah. Allah is the name of the main deity in Islam. I humbly ask that you share with me the information you have learned. I ask Allah to grant me the wisdom and discernment needed to choose and follow the morally righteous course of action. Allah is widely regarded as the very definition of mercy and compassion. Allah is regarded as the height of kindness and compassion, so I ask Him for His blessings and direction. The Islamic religion uses the name Allah to refer to its supreme deity. All praise for the revelation of the life-sustaining rivers should be rightfully given to Allah. I seek Allah's divine guidance as I carefully examine this dataset. The Islamic concept of Allah denotes the supreme deity. The person humbly begs the kind and generous being to think about the situation of these worn-out and exhausted people. People need a sense of divine benevolence to get through this difficult time. Help us regain our independence by imparting your vast experience and wisdom. Invoking the name of Allah, who is thought to represent limitless mercy, the person makes a prayer to the divine being known as the Almighty. The belief in Allah's unending mercy and compassion, as well as the person's voluntarily submission to Allah's will, are the driving forces behind this act of prayer. Allah is revered in the Islamic religion as the supreme manifestation of divinity. We sincerely adore Allah and supplicate to Him, pleading for His kindness and illumination. Many people praise Allah for His many exceptional qualities, especially His kindness and clemency. Allah, the all-powerful deity, deserves the highest praise and honor. The student's observation was insightful and showed a sincere desire to learn. I express my hope that any transcendent being that might exist is aware of people's appeals for enlightenment and helps them develop their perception. When we pray, we acknowledge God's glory and demonstrate our humility as we ask for His heavenly blessings. We respectfully request Allah to recognize the importance of water in order to foster interpersonal connections and affiliations. It is essential that we acknowledge the numerous actions and events that are intricately connected to this revered concept as we begin our exploration of love and friendship. I humbly implore that God receive all the glory. By referring to Allah's divine wisdom, the author exudes hope and emphasizes the value of valuing these connections. Allah is revered in the Islamic religion as the supreme manifestation of divinity. I humbly request that Allah, the divine being who embodies the highest levels of mercy and compassion, give me the chance to meet the revered Prophet and have a meaningful conversation with him that will satisfy my aspirations for spiritual fulfillment. If a higher power is believed to exist, we humbly ask for advice on how to encourage respect for Sam as a sacred being among those who aspire to fulfill their dreams. The information that follows is disclosed in an effort to shed light on Sam's true character while also taking into account his upbringing in religion. We beseech the divine being known as Allah, who is abounding in forgiveness and generosity, to grant us the intelligence required to fully comprehend and hold in the highest regard the entirety of this revered literary work. Allah is revered as the pinnacle of divinity in the Islamic faith. I humbly ask Allah, the Most Merciful, to pardon me for any previous skepticism I may have harbored regarding His omniscience. In the name of Allah, the Most Merciful, I express my sincere gratitude for your extensive knowledge and expertise on the subject. Please assist in establishing the veracity of this representation of Him in a sacred, charitable, and loving environment. The Prophet's dreams, which serve as a source of inspiration, are the origin of our love's limitless and unending qualities. Please take note of this request, Most Merciful and Gracious Being. I implore the Divine Being to grant me and my nearest companion an endless supply of kindness and special consideration. We humbly implore your divine presence, O Allah, the personification of endless mercy, to kindly hear our prayer. Please note that the focus of our discussion is the revered Prophet, a persona selected by a divine being endowed with omniscience and given the solemn responsibility of bearing witness to the extraordinary events occurring in the celestial realm. I humbly ask for transcendent enlightenment as I reflect intently on the profound teachings of the revered Prophet Sallallahu. I humbly beseech the divine being known as Allah to grant me a thorough comprehension of the fundamental ideas that underlie radical Islam. The user invokes Allah in accordance with religious custom. I humbly implore Allah, who is regarded as the ultimate source of all mercy and compassion, to guide me according to His infinite knowledge. I ponder the profound significance I attach to each person's innate belief systems during this revered time. When do people stop using their own initiative and start looking to outside guidance, particularly from a higher authority, to control every aspect of their lives? The only God acknowledged as the Supreme Being by Muslims is Allah. I beseech Allah, the Supreme Being, to illuminate the enigmas surrounding the idea of aspiration so that I may better comprehend them. The Islamic religion uses the name Allah to refer to its supreme deity. I implore your divine presence, unfathomable wisdom, and radiant illumination, O most merciful and compassionate Allah. It can be concluded that the answer to the question I respectfully present would be in the negative if one were to follow Allah, SWT, who is regarded as the most gracious and the most merciful. I pray to Allah because I believe that He is the epitome of the greatest mercy and benevolence. I do this in accordance with my religious beliefs. I hope to receive divine wisdom and a clear understanding through this practice as I seek direction and enlightenment. To Allah, the Most Merciful, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the numerous blessings I have received. Muslims devote themselves to worshipping Allah, a transcendent deity. In order to fulfill our desires and aspirations as we approach the era of Asad, we implore Allah, the Most Merciful, to grant us a clear perspective. All praise is due to Allah, and it is prayed that He will endow His devoted servant with the intellect necessary to comprehend their dream. Celestial beings' prompt intervention would make it easier for the day when people begin an introspective journey to reveal the inherent sanctity that has lain dormant to come quickly. The author hopes that people everywhere will develop their own capacities for wisdom and discernment with the help of God's unending love and direction. It is expected that people will take initiative and develop wisdom as they actively engage in a process of learning about their own personal journeys. Please consider the possible underlying meaning contained within these at first glance ambiguous words. It is hoped that those going through personal transformation, in which they gain profound wisdom and discernment, will find comfort and solace in the celestial realm. Travelers are advised to invoke divine protection at various points along their journeys. If there is a divine being, we respectfully ask that they look upon these people and grant them blessings. We implore the Prophet of Compassion to grant us understanding and the stamina to put it into practice. In the name of Allah, the Most Gracious, the Most Merciful, we respectfully ask for your prudent guidance in light of the fact that you have introduced the idea of 3 options. We anticipate that verbal direction will effectively direct us in the right direction. We humbly ask the Most Merciful and Most Compassionate Deity for help and assistance. In the Islamic religion, Allah is revered as the pinnacle of divine authority and power. We pray with a spirit of humility and submission, mindful that only through your divine intervention can people come to know the allure of Islam and find a profound sense of fulfillment in their lives.